This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, and a very good afternoon from the Mara Triangle in Kenya. What a beautiful fig tree to start our sunset drive, and that tree you see on your frame there is called a fig tree. The very iconic trees that you'll see in the Mara, and in the background there you can see the savannah, and we are being welcomed by a male lion right there. It's not a lion that I'm familiar with, but you can tell he is fully grown. He is within the territory of the sausage tree pride. Good afternoon, sir. You must be a very snoozy lion today. But he is not alone, because next to him there is a lioness there. But this is one lioness that I know, and she belongs to the sausage tree pride, and in particular we call her the kinktail. A warm welcome to all of you, and I guess these two are on honeymoon, if not mating. My name is David. How is everybody doing? And on camera today with me is Manu. Good afternoon, Manu. Yes, whatever that means, I do not know. Lots of sign languages for Manu. Remember, this is a very interactive safari. Your questions, any comments you may have, tweet #SafariLive, and you can also continue following us on the YouTube chat stream. A warm, nice afternoon, 27 degrees Celsius, 81 degrees Fahrenheit, and you can see the sun is still shining on the Mara Triangle. I got a feeling these two lions here are mating. The male, as I said earlier, doesn't look very familiar, but sooner or later I'll be finding out where he comes from or what coalition he belongs to. But again, as I said, the female, I know her, she is called a kinktail. And this afternoon, I'm not the only one. I could be the only one, yes, here in Kenya, but in South Africa, we got one beautiful girl and one handsome gentleman. But there's a girl who would like to say jambo jambo or hello to all of you.
Oh, David, you always just give us such a great welcoming. Yes, welcome everybody to the Sunset Safari. We've got our own little migration going on in the distance. Nothing in comparison, of course, to the one happening in the Mara. My name is, shall I dare say, the beautiful Taylor, and on camera with me today is the handsome Craig. Were you too embarrassed to put your hand in front of the camera, Craig? I want to see those handsome hands of his. Anyways, remember to interact with us and #SafariLive, or you can also talk to us via the YouTube chat. And if you'd like your questions to get answered, remember to keep it relevant to what we're seeing on screen, and then you'll have a better chance, well, I suppose, of getting your question answered. But you know, it's nice to see the wildebeest, even though it's just a small little gathering. At least it's some. Well, I suppose the Sabi Sand and the Kruger are never going to have as many animals as the Mara does. Well, maybe not quite in terms of total numbers, but, you know, sort of gatherings. They're much smaller and few and far between here in South Africa, but that's okay. It means that the lions are on the go all the time. And the lions in the Mara are very lucky at the moment, where they can just stand around, well, just literally just wait in one spot, and eventually a herd of wildebeest or zebra will pass on through. Now, they're all trying to keep out of the heat. Even the impala, it's very, very hot. You can see a few of them just behind the wildebeest. Everyone's even kind of stopped eating now. It's that hot. And the wind is not, of course, helping. Not yet. Give it an hour and a half, or maybe even 2 hours, and it'll be a nice cool breeze. Well, we can only hope. That's what I'm going for anyway. So I'm pretty sure later on we'll go past the Nkuhuma Pride and see what's happening that side, but I can only imagine that they'd be fast asleep right now, so we won't worry about them just yet. We'll try and check the Mulwati. We'll see if we can find some elephants, maybe we see some down at Chitwa if we decide to go bumbling that way. So that's kind of my plan. We do have a school drive a little bit later, right, in the last 45 minutes of drive. Let's hope the Nkuhumas don't do anything too exciting, because I know the kids don't want to see blood and gore. But with the Nkuhumas around and there being wildebeest and also the buffalo that are around, it might be inevitable. Anyways, David's on the go with his lions already this afternoon. Let's jump back on board with him.
Well done, Taylor, and I am sure when you get to the Chitwa Dam, there's a lot of activity that goes on there. Now, this male, as I said earlier, he doesn't look very familiar to me, and I'm trying to do all my IDs to know what coalition he belongs to. As a big yawn there. Are you yawning up to freshen up? Or do you want to find out how your girl is doing? You see, because of the warmth of the day, there are quite a number of flies on her nose. But the female, as I said earlier, if you're lucky, and if she's going to raise up another yawn. Wonderful. Well, his teeth don't look that yellowy, so I would give him about 10 years. And as I said earlier, this pair here, I think, is a mating pair of lions. Not sure what I'm saying is what might happen, but it's a good stretch from that big boy. And I might have to keep quiet and we watch this maybe for a couple of seconds. Kayla, stand by one. Well, Kayla, my apologies for not having answered your question immediately. I was torn between answering your question and watching that mating of those two lions. As I said earlier, this is a mating pair. The lionesses, some of the large ones, could go about 190 kilograms. What am I talking about? Almost 400 pounds in weight. That's the average weight of fully grown or big-sized lionesses. So like the one we have here, we call her Kinky. And she belongs to the sausage tree pride, and she looks fully grown to me, and just from the guess or from what I can see, she could be anything close to 400 pounds in weight. Males get a lot heavier than that. Some will go up to 500 kilograms, 500 pounds, 240, 230 kilograms. And also the boy next to Kinky to me, well, legs up. He is, I would say, also fully grown. And I was talking about his yellowy teeth earlier. So he could be around 10, also years. Fully grown, I would say. And what a wonderful life, I would say, he got. Flick the tails there to get the flies away. And you can see the panting because of the heat of the day. What I found interesting with lions when they're mating, it will always not matter where they are, whether it is pretty hot where they are or they need the shade. Where the action starts, they tend to remain there. If you look at that leg there, that paw, you can see the amount of sun on it. I would say that could be very uncomfortable for them when they're mating, but they have always, not really cared so much about the weather. When the mating starts, they tend to remain in the same place, be it 4, 5, sometimes 6 to 10 days. But well, we spoke of Taylor earlier saying hello, and there's one more gentleman who would want to give all of you a huge smile.
Oh, look at that. Quite a magnificent sighting. I have got the lilac-breasted roller right on top of the tree here, enjoying the sun. It is very, very hot at the moment, but it seems like this lilac-breasted roller is not bothered by this kind of weather. A very, very good afternoon and welcome to the beginning of the afternoon safari. My name is Sydney Pumurani Mikosi. I am traveling with Sebastian, who is my camera operator, and I hope we are all going to give you the best experience ever. My plan this afternoon is quite very easy. I'll be looking for the spotted cats. I know earlier this morning, Tandi, Kalamba and Wasana has been spotted around here, so I'm going to carry on from previous. I will try by all means to see if I can find their tracks and take it from there. For your questions and comments, you can follow us on YouTube chat stream. You can follow us as well on #SafariLive on Twitter. So we're just going to carry on now and see if we can find any evidence of these cats who has been spotted in this area this morning. Well, not yet. We are not yet at the drought. Just that mostly the dry season, some other people, they consider it a drought season, but I can promise you we are still expecting for the first rains. The best time for the first rain is not yet there. We are still heading there. So this is normal after the winter season. We are still at spring, only if it doesn't rain until end of October, November. That is when we will be at the beginning of the drought season. No tracks at the moment, and here it is. Now that is true, it is looking very, very dry at the moment, but most parts of South Africa by this time of the year is all the same. I come from the Limpopo province, further western side of the Limpopo province, which is called Waterberg, and there by Waterberg as well, by this time of the year, it does get very, very dry. So this is Mamba Road where this cats has been spotted. So Tandi and Kalamba, I haven't seen them for quite a long time. I'm happy to find those ones. I must have to try by all means and get hold of those two. Somewhere around this junction is where they have been spotted. So I must have to check all this. So now let's go back to Taylor, who is now busy following up on lions. I think she had a lovely sighting this morning there.
No, we're not following up on the lions, not yet. Anyways, that will be done later in the afternoon when it is nice and cool. Because I know exactly what they'll be doing. They'll be sleeping right now, so we're going to avoid sleeping cats at all costs. And I'm probably going to take a slow drive towards Chitwa. I think is probably what we'll do, and we'll see what's happening down that side. It's a very hot day, like we've all been saying. I know Sydney was saying he says it's so hot here. He says he's not really used to temperatures like this consistently. You know, it's normal to have the odd hot day here and there, but it's consistently warm here. And yeah, so I'm hoping that we will get some elephants that have come down to Chitwa to splash around a little bit, and we'll see what's happening that side. I don't think there was any predators. I didn't get anything from any of my spies that side, my informants that send me messages when there are animals that down that way. Nothing from them. So yeah, so we'll just take a little drive around. I'm just checking around here for snakes, for pythons. Kruger, if I could have a Friday surprise sighting, it would be a sushi van that would just pop up somewhere. That would be a great surprise sighting. Oh, were you talking about a wildlife sighting? I'd probably still choose the sushi van and I don't know, maybe a cocktail bar. Right, Craig? Does that sound... Craig's smiling, so I know that he's up for that as well. So that would be great, you know, if there's anybody that could organize that for us. I'll put you on the gate list. Not joking. Anyways, yes, so that is what I would like to see on this Friday. Otherwise, I'll be happy with anything, really. Elephants, all sorts of wonderful animals. just as long as there's animals. It's starting to get a little bit quiet again, but the wheel kind of turns like that out here. Some days are super filled with action. You don't know what to actually talk about or where to look, and then other days just become so quiet. Can't be busy all the time. Lots of little pockets of animals as we drive, which is great because that'll eventually bring the lions our way. Well, more lions, hopefully. I don't know if we will see much at the dam. It's a bit windy. We'll see. We'll keep an eye out. I'd like to see some warthogs maybe wallowing around or something along those lines too. Right, we're going to carry on heading down towards Chitwa. If you go to Sydney, who's got his eyes on the ground, is looking for the spotted cats.
I am right looking for some tracks here, and so far there is no indication of Tandi, Kalamba as well as Hosana, because all of them, 3 of them were in this area this morning. So now I'm just going to head up and see if I can go up towards the Chitakat line and see if they haven't crossed to the other side. So when the weather is like this, these kind of cats can be very much lazy and just lie under this tree and by these old dry riverbeds. So I don't want to go in here first. I want to check the roads. I must investigate the roads first and then take it from there. There's quite a lot of small green bushes here from the guari trees. As the guaris, they are evergreen trees. They are evergreen trees. There's no tracks at all. But I am very sure that these animals are in this area. So I will look everywhere. Maybe shortly before the sunset, they might start to come out. Wilford, the roads that I'm driving here now on, they are all just game drive roads. These ones are not open for the visitors to drive by themselves. Yes, some of them are the main roads whereby everybody can, which are catering for all different kind of vehicles for the people coming to the lodge. There's quite a lot of old elephant tracks. So this is the road which is going to give me a confirmation if these leopards are still in our area or by the private properties. So I have to be very careful here and check thoroughly. But so far, there are no tracks. Gina, the October rains, they do last long because once they start, the rain just comes and goes, coming and going every time. So which is good for the vegetation because once we get first rains, everything starts to get excited and shortly after that, everything gets back to normal. Because now, when it is dry like this, grasses are not yet convinced to bring back the new growth, which is beneficial for these animals. So animals are just feeding on the dry grass at the moment, which then gives a lot of pressure to the dams. That is why by this time of the year, quite a lot of water is getting dry, not only because of the sun, but animals as well. They are eating and drinking more than expected. So now let's go back to Taylor, who is now at Chitwa Dam area, and see what he's having there.
Well, we've arrived at Chitwa, so I'm pretty sure most of the regular viewers can kind of guess what we'll see here. We sort of see the same things here at Chitwa. However, I have lost my green-backed herons. I don't know where they've moved to. They were quite fun to watch. But the resident saddle-billed stork, as well as 3 banded plovers, blacksmith lapwings, and all the hippos you could ever dream of are still here. Even the terrapin made it today, the Sabi Sand's biggest terrapin. I don't actually know if it's the Sabi Sand's biggest terrapin, but it's quite a large one, and it likes to balance on that log in the water. It's its favorite spot. I think it gets tired of the hippos as they bob up and down the water. Oh my goodness, you won't believe what I just saw, Craig. I don't know if you saw it. That's so weird. The hippo popped its head up and a fish was on top of its face and it jumped off. That was so weird. I just saw this shiny thing. It's those hippos over there, one of those ones. I'm not making it up, Em. I promise you right now, it was the most bizarre thing. I see weird things. I don't see dead people, but I see weird things often. I don't understand how that happened. I don't know if the catfish are coming to feed around the hippos or what their story actually is. But anyways, that was quite entertaining. I can't believe that. I promise you, I don't know what else is that reflects silver. You know, that has that sort of reflective skin. Anything I can think of is a fish. And it flapped like one on its snout. I can't believe we didn't get that. I wish you could see all these random things that make it, all that I managed to just catch at a glance every now and then. But it won't happen again, because I've never seen that in my life before. That was bizarre. I suppose with the water all drying up, and there are quite a few fish in here. I don't know how many fish are in here. But I would imagine that it's going to get harder for them. But I don't think this dam will dry out enough that the fish will all die. I think they'll be okay. There's quite a bit of water in here. And there's the creche with all the little hippos. They always stick together. Say, Tina, I suppose it's just lots of practice being able to spot things. There's no real training to it. You just get, I suppose practice makes perfect. So it takes years and years of going on a safari, and obviously we're lucky because we do it every single day, so we pick up the habit a bit easier and quicker. But basically you just spot things that don't look like they belong in the bush. So when a lion is walking, it kind of stands out. And if it's not trying to hide itself away, you can see something moving. Sometimes you see, what's that big grey thing over there? Most of the time it's a rock. Sometimes it's a hippo or an elephant. So you kind of just spot things that you think shouldn't actually be there, although they should be there, of course, because this is the wild animals, but they don't look like a log or a rock or a tree. They look a little bit different. So yeah, it takes a bit of time. Bit of getting used to. I mean, we miss lots of things, but that's the idea. The animals camouflage very well to the surrounding flora. There we go. Chris, I've never gone fishing here before, so I can only imagine what types of fish are here, but we've seen sort of the catfish. I'm pretty sure there's some form of tilapia swimming around here, and maybe a couple of other smaller species of fish, but I don't know. I haven't really seen. I have seen storks eating tilapia. Actually, it looks like that saddle-billed stork might be on something. And then, of course, the most prominent fish we tend to see here is the catfish. You can see, look, the stork is just waiting for something to come within striking distance. So this is the male saddle-billed stork. He's got those little yellow wattles. The females don't have them. Just underneath where his chin essentially would be, although he doesn't have a chin. Not like ours. Amazing how patient they are too. There we go. Striking into the water but missing. Better luck next time. They're normally pretty persistent. I'd like to see a big stork catching a baby crocodile. That could be quite epic. What are you gonna do next, bird? I think it's deciding. Oh, can you hear the wind has just picked up now? It's gusting horribly. Well, that would explain why there aren't too many animals down at the dam today. I wouldn't want to be down here. Just to literally come and quench my thirst and then move away. They are lovely, aren't they, Tracy? They're beautiful birds. That's also because they're so tall. Those colours really do stand out. I wish it would catch something, though. I suppose I say that, and I'm sure that bird would also like to catch something. Alright, it seems as though the leopards have given Sydney the slip, as he hasn't managed to find them yet. Let's go find out whereabouts he is.
The cats are playing hide and seek. At the moment, I am heading down towards the Twinsdam area just to see if they are not in that area. And if they are not there, I am going to be now targeting the Mulawati drainage line, because this dry riverbed is very cooler in that area. Quite a lot of shade there. Maybe that is where I'm going to find them today. My favorite sighting in Djuma so far, it was my first sighting in Djuma, which was my first game drive since my appointment here in Djuma with Seb. Yeah, I was with the very same camera operator when I came across the lions chasing the leopards, and the leopards shortly after chased each other. It was just a chaos. It was very interesting. That is one of the unforgettable experience. Yeah. It was really an awesome drive, and it was my first sighting. Imagine, first sighting, I come across the two different cats, lion leopards fighting, and after that fighting, leopards fighting amongst each other. Yeah. At Chidulu. Yes. 4 different leopards were fighting right at the same time. It was very interesting. So I don't think I will find a sighting like that. Yes, I've seen another beautiful sighting 3 days ago when I saw Hukumuri chasing Hosana, which was also my first sighting of Hukumuri. It was the first time I'm seeing Hukumuri. Bob, I am not too sure here what we are relying on, because I have seen that quite a lot of these leopards, when it comes to the identification, a lot of them, they have got some notches here on their ears, which helps to identify them. But apart from that, naturally, each one of them has got its own stripe pattern. Roger M., I didn't copy your question very well. Dangerous fires, they are very there. Because when it's dry like this, it can be very dangerous, and fire can start naturally and sometimes accidentally as a result of human interference. But at this stage here where we are, there are no fires, but at the moment it's very dry and is vulnerable to those kind of the cats. So now let's go back to a Taylor by the Chitwa Dam.
We have indeed. We're not at Chitwa anymore. We weren't ever going to stay there for very long. It's a bit windy. There's no elephants around. So we'll bumble back slowly towards Juma and continue our search for the elephants. So that is the plan for now. And then a little bit later, probably in about an hour or so, we'll maybe swing past the lions, see what they're up to. Otherwise, we're just going to take it easy. We might do a little bit of birding in the Mulwati. Yeah, I think that's all for now. We won't try and organize too much. We'll just give that a bash. I did pop past at one point to see if Tingana was at his kill, but we know that he'd moved on from this morning already. But I just wanted to quadruple check. We obviously looked around Treehouse Dam. He wasn't around there either. So what he normally does after he does devour a big meal, he goes on a little bit of a territorial patrol, and I'm pretty certain that's the leopard that I heard sawing last night, and I think you all heard it on the dam cam too. So I think that was him just quickly going and doing his rounds. Didn't see where his tracks were, not even once. I only saw Hosanna's tracks this morning. Those were the only leopard ones. And then lots of lion tracks everywhere. Here comes the dust. Right, made it through the dust. Got grabbed by the quicksand on the left. All the sand sort of piles up on the sides of the roads, and the wheels get sort of locked into them, and then before you know it, you're veering off, you're stuck in the sand. It's a horrible feeling, because once it grabs you, it doesn't let go. Just checking carefully around here to see if there's anything interesting. I think everybody's hiding away from the heat of the day. I don't blame them though. I couldn't imagine how sunburnt I'd be if I had to try and stand outside in the sun all day long. I'd be a lobster. I think I'd have to be a buffalo and live in a mud wallow all day long. That's literally the only way I'd make it through the day. Alternating between the mud wallow and a shady tree. We're just going to go down into the Mulwati, and then we'll see if there are any birds around or anything like that. I'm sure on the banks, trying to hide away, stay out of the sun. It's actually nice there. It's actually really, really cool when you're down in the Mulwati too. But for now, we won't see any birds out here. Oh, there's some more wildebeest. There's some more wildebeest just down over there in the distance. I don't think you'll see. I'm not going to stop for them. They're so far into the thicket. I was just sort of telling you that there are a few around. Nice little herds. Well, we're about to pop down into the Mulwati. Hopefully we'll have some birds. Let's go see where Sydney is, that the gremlins got him.
I am right now by the Twins Dam, whereby there is nothing at the moment. The animals, they are not traveling during this kind of weather. You can see here Nothing is here. It's only few birds here by the Twins Dam. So only the birds are enjoying this kind of water. Maybe the cats are now starting to have less interest as this water is now turning green and there's quite a lot of mud there. Only those who are attracted to do the mud wallowing will prefer to come here. Big animals such as the elephants and some other animals such as rhinos and smaller animals such as warthogs. Those are the ones who likes to come here in order to do the mud wallowing when the weather is like this. So I was hoping to find some of these cats here, but I can see nothing is here. I'm just going to carry on and see if we can find fresh tracks. Where they are very relaxed. They are not moving around. That's why I'm battling to find their tracks. Francis, that is true. The water is nearly dry by this water hole, and also I went to Tree House Dam is also the same. So I hope the rain is gonna come anytime soon. But apart from that, we do have sufficient water for these animals.
Oh, this is going to be a fun safari, everybody. It seems like there's lots and lots of technical issues today. Apologies for that. Hopefully, geniuses that are behind the scenes will be able to fix it all. Yeah, so we're just bumbling in the Molati. I'm just looking for things. I'd like to try and figure out where the rose eagle owls have gone and where they're hiding now. Oh, cool, look, a starling. There he goes. Cape Glossy starling just flew down and grabbed something. It might have been a little insect. There's quite a few of them actually up in this big tree just over here. Looks like a leadwood. Just on the end branches. Yeah, those ones, those bottom ones. There they are. Might be able to hear the others just calling in the distance, but they're just sitting there, keeping out of the heat of the day. And also there's not much point flying around when you're just going to blow all the way around and not be able to go in the direction that you want. Especially small birds like this, I think, would struggle quite a bit. Let's carry on. See what else we can get. I can hear an orange-breasted bushrack. Let's see if we can find it. I just need to try and get it. We can maybe have a look at those ones up top there. They look like southern black tits. It just that one is not a southern black tit. That is a, I don't even know, is it a female red-headed weaver? I don't even know where you're looking. Oh, there you're looking. Sorry, I was on a different tree. Is it a red-headed weaver? Might be a male. Maybe just changing breeding colours? Anyways, but there is a southern black tit on the bush willow closer to us. It's just bouncing around up top as well. And these guys are really specialists at feasting upon the seed pods. It's really amazing to watch them work. Look at them. See how they're pecking the pods? They're probably eating a bit of the flowers coming through now too. I think their flowers will probably have a bit more sustenance to it. All the pollen. Look how amazing they can dangle. But what they normally do is they tap on the pods. And there is a little larvae that parasitizes the seeds and lives in there. And that's what they normally go for. And they're able to tell the empty ones from the ones that have a little worm inside. But I think all the birds cannot resist getting hold of some of the flower, of the flowers, so all the pollen and the nectar. And they're also, of course, pollinators, serious pollinators. So that's really quite nice to see them bouncing about. Very nimble, those little birds. Right, let's carry on. Let's go a little bit further around the bend. Let's see what other birds there are. Yeah, I think that was a red-headed weaver just starting to change colour. Roshni, this is the only, I'm pretty sure you know, Roshni. I'm sure you should know her. We've only got the Mulwati to drive and there's no other riverbed system we can really enter except a tiny segment of the Mulwanini on Chitwa. But yeah, no, we're back on Juma now. I've never seen this flow. I think it's just seasonal. I don't know if the Mulwati 50 years ago was ever filled with water. I highly doubt it. It's fairly dry up here in the north. So no, I think this is just a little seasonal river. It fills up every now and then, but lasts for a day or two. And then that's about it. It stays wet for a while that you can't drive it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that there's, like, you know, that it's a raging torrent. Jamie's seen the Mulwati, I think, a raging torrent once. That was hilarious. It was like ankle deep. Just checking up and above the trees to see if there's anything there, but it doesn't look like it. Gemma, no, I actually haven't seen much other than the Wahlberg's eagles. I haven't seen any of the other migrants coming through just yet. Perhaps we haven't also had much rain, so if they arrive too early, they're going to go a bit hungry, which is not going to be ideal for them. So yeah, so maybe in the next couple of weeks or so, maybe mid-October, we'll start to see a few more coming around. I'm always keeping an eye out for them. Oh, look, there's a giraffe. We're going to have a very quick look at this giraffe, but it's the one that runs away. He does this. Tristan was talking about him at breakfast. He says he's not the biggest fan of this giraffe because he gives him 2 chances, and most of the time those 2 chances end up him just trying to get out of shot at all costs. But well, there's also the giraffe that spotted the leopards, so maybe it is on leopard patrol and he's just looking for those cats again. And the oxpeck is holding on for dear life as he marched away. But this is a beautiful big giraffe bull. There's lots of giraffe around at the moment, plenty of them. Unfortunately, not many leaves. They'll be alright though. They're lucky they can reach the tops of the trees where no one else other than really the elephants and I suppose the vervet monkeys can get to. Bye, giraffe. Off he goes. Like I said, never a quick view of that giraffe. Okay. What else have we got here? Here's a bird party. I don't know if they're going to sit still. There's a gang of babblers. We've got francolins. Just shouting out all the birds that we've got. We've got crested barbets. All sorts of wonderful things. So they're the francolins. We have a quick look at them. Because I think the most exciting bird around here is probably the arrow-marked babblers, which are all feeding in the leaf litter just off to the right. And they're hopping and skipping, going underneath all the branches, trying to chase up any little insects, which will probably be a lot of. See, there's quite a few of them on the ground now. I think that's a good place to try and find some food. Checking underneath the logs. They'll eat scorpions. They'll eat any little lizards if they can catch them, and there's quite a few little things about. Beetles and ants, termites. Wonderful. It seems as though that David is back with us now, so off you go to the Mara where he's got a couple of zebra.
Wanwacha, Tokapo. I do not know what Manu is trying to do, but you might think there's something in that water. But Manu is a magician when it comes to camera, and I guess that's a tail of a zebra. Manu, what's wrong with you? Don't try and confuse me. And Manu was trying to tell me there's a frog in there. Can you see it jumping? How confusing are you, Manu? Hello, zebra. Now, this particular area had like a natural spring, or better call it a salt lake. So that zebra there is not drinking. water, but it's just leaking salt where she is. There's so many springs like this in the Mara. Look at her now. That's not drinking, and where she is, there's not so much water. And if she is drinking there, of course, that could be the source of the spring, and they're trying maybe to get the freshest or the cleanest water. But my guess is it's more of a salt leak than drinking they're doing. They'll always need lots of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus in their bodies. She looks maybe slightly pregnant, and if she is, she'll definitely need that. See, at the very base of that spring, that's exactly where I would guess they're licking. And if you look at the muscles of the lower jaw, that tells you the movement of the tongue, because zebras don't drink like that. And there's better open areas near this spring where they could comfortably drink. So my guess is they're trying to get some minerals at that point. Remember, as I said earlier, this is a very interactive safari. Your questions, comments, tweet them, #SafariLive. Hello zebra. And these are the common zebra or the plains zebra that form the big spectacle of the migration. The migration came in rather late in the Mara Triangle this year, and personally I'm very convinced it might leave late to go back to Serengeti. Flicking the tails as much as still warm, sometimes it's more of a reflex, telling there would be predators we are alert and not asleep, or if there are any flies, they'd get rid of them. And again, talking of migration, it incorporates wildebeest, as you see there. They make a very good gel, the two of them, the wildebeest and the zebras. So not sure whether that one also want to go and have a salt leak. Just stopped, not sure. Either it's one or two at a time. I don't think that's the case. And sometimes you'll see them licking the salt on the edge of the water, which will tell you they're more doing calcium or any minerals that is available here. And they keep digging, and maybe also by so doing more water comes out. They excavate and it gets deeper and more water comes out. Come on, that's, whoops. You don't want to share. That's not very good of you. That's very mean, eh? Very healthy looking zebras. You can tell by the shape of the condition of the mane there. It's very upright. I'm sure for those of you who have seen horses, to know a good horse that is good shape, the mane is always upright. When we're telling males and zebras, it could be difficult from a distance, and I have always said, unless you're close to them and you look below the tail and look at the genitalia, you can tell males from females. That's the only way out. But if that's difficult for some animals, for example, elephants, that you cannot tell, then you have to look at the mammary glands on the females. That way you're able to tell. But from a distance, it could be a bit difficult to tell males from females, or even looking at their faces. But definitely you got animals that you can tell differences, like antelopes, where males will have horns and females will not. Or if both sexes will have horns, you'll get males having bigger horns than the females. But for zebras from a distance, it could be slightly bit tricky to tell males from females. Now, if like you look at that one there, as much as a youngster, looking below the tail, not that I can see anything, I could say it's a young male. That's a guess from where I am. I can see it's a young male. I can't see the vagina, so my guess is a young male. Hello, zebras. You need either to drink, or you can continue licking more salt. So migration comes with lots of damages, or with lots of predators that follow it. Lions, cheetahs, leopards, and also hyenas.
You can see that one of those animals that are more active during the night is now active during the day. It's just sleeping here by the nice and open area where the food is hanged by the tree by Tingana a few days ago. The smell here is quite very bad, but I'm sure to this hyena, this is a placidic smell. This is kind of a very good smell. To me, it's bad, but hyenas, this is what they are liking the most. So I am here now just to try and see if maybe I can pick up any spotted cat in the area, but it seems to be very, very quiet. So there's only one hyena I am seeing at the moment. So you can see that this hyena is lying down flat, not even bothered by the flies. So these hyenas are still confusing a lot. I'm still very confused with regards to the identification of them. Maybe one of my viewers can try and help me to identify these hyenas. Look at that. These hyenas are not even worried about the flies. So what this hyena is doing there now can be very dangerous to that eye, because this hyena is allowing these kind of flies to come there. Some of the flies, such as the boat flies, can be able to lay their eggs right there by the eye, and the larva of that kind of an insect can be able to penetrate the pupil, and it can easily kill the eyes. So sometimes the animals can become blind because of that, because these kind of boat flies can also affect human beings. Joe, that is true. These kind of flies, they are not very good. But I can promise you, flies, they play a very significant role in this ecology. Without having flies, there was just going to be quite a lot of carrions here. So they help when it comes to the decomposition process of the leftovers in the bush. So this hyena is not sick at all. He's just taking a look at that now. You can see him trying to listen. The thing is, these hyenas are active much more during the night. And now is their time to rest. But these ones don't mind where to rest. They are not by the den, but they can just rest anywhere and everywhere. What we are seeing now here is normal. This is normal for the animals that are active during the night. It's just like us. At night we sleep. When we're not sick, we sleep. When we're sick, we sleep. So it's just a normal process. So I'm just going to leave this hyena sleeping here and see if I can find spotted curs. Minamu, the animals which can be able to survive the longest drought is some of the antelopes, such as the Gemsbok. The Gemsbok, the oryx, those are much more desert animals which can be able to survive for up to 6 weeks without drinking water. And if there is drought, they can just urinate very few drops of water to keep the moisture as much as possible. So the animals got to employ kind of a certain adaptation in order to overcome those kind of drought challenges. So now let's go back to Taylor and see. Maybe Taylor is winning at the moment.
Just done an afternoon bumble, really. Not much. Just driving. I haven't seen anything exciting, not even a little bit this afternoon. But again, I'm not surprised. It's what happens on safaris and the blustery weather. You see very little. But I did just want to come around here and check to see if I can figure out where the buffalo are. just so I know for later, if the Nkuhumas do get up and start moving, I'll have a really good idea on, well, where their food might be. Not that I can tell them, but at least if they're going in that direction, I can anticipate it and try go the long way around, get around them, because you don't want to get stuck in between some of these drainage lines, especially at night, because you won't be able to find your way out and you'll be trapped in the reserve forever. No, you won't, but it's not fun. Right, it seems as though David has got the friskiest lions of all. Let's go see if they're up in the Mara and doing what they do best.
Well, I'm still enjoying some great moments here, and these lions are quite romantic. They just finished mating like split of a second ago, and you notice in general once they finish mating, the female tends to roll over. And my thinking is she has to allow the semen to get to the fallopian tube, and that's where most likely or conceiving happens before she gets pregnant. So as soon as they finish mating, the female tends either to bite the male because they got like spiky, I would say, penis, and it's either hooked backwards. So as he withdraws it out of the vagina, I think the walls of the vagina get a bit rubbed and gets a bit irritated, and she's not very happy about that. But still, there's no bad blood between them. It just turns to see the handsome, good-looking male that up to now I have not been able to identify who he is. But again, as I said earlier, this girl here is called the Kingtail lioness. It's called the Kingtail, and she belongs to the Sausage Tree Pride. Not sure that's a wound she got there or what it is. Didn't see very well. I'm sure when she turns the other way, we look carefully. Oh, she had some poo of a wildebeest she picked or a zebra, but I saw some dark spots on her belly there, and I was wondering what that is. Not once or twice, many times, you know, females, males are known to be involved in fights. Nicola, what is the smell right here? I would say there's a lot of love in the air. I'm not sure I'm making any sense or not, but with these lions mating, there's a lot of love in the air, and so romantic. But ideally, we're expecting the short trains to be coming any time now, and I'm only smelling very cold air at the moment. And we're in the month of September. Yes, September. We came to the end of September. Short trains should start any time now. So the only thing I can pick apart from lots of love in the air is the cold air that's coming because of the short trains that we expect any time now. It's time for the male now to have his legs up. And I wouldn't know why he should do that, but just maybe getting a comfortable position. Females will always do that. Again, as I said, just to make sure the semen gets to the right place for conceiving. Once in a while, we have called lions kings of the jungle, especially the cats. Tom, yes, I mean, lazy, I agree with you. I couldn't be a better comment. When you get your food and you drink and then you mate and then you sleep, you know, I've always thought maybe my next life I would want to become a lion, but not to be involved in fights. And that's where he's just there, finished mating, snooze. Now, if you look at them carefully, even the female, I would say definitely she is snoozing. And we have always made this mistake talking of lions sleeping and sleeping 18, 20, 22 hours in a day. But to me, even the females do sleep. So if she got all what she needs, I would say she got a male right there. She is not hungry and she gets enough to drink. Why wouldn't she sleep? So I have seen also lionesses going 16, 17 hours sleeping. So not only the males will sleep, but also the females with the right conditions. They'd enjoy the nap. So I think it's all in the lion's kingdom, just to snooze and sleep. So this area we are in, we have been seeing another male that we call Kipuli, who was involved in a fight with some 2 other males a few days ago. He is not anywhere to be seen, and I would have guessed he could be the one that is mating with this female here that we call the kingtail. Well, I'm sure you might be waiting here for a few seconds, but just in case, because they just mated a few minutes ago, they might take rather long before they mate again. And I'm sure after they finish mating the next 6-7 days, what they will do, any animal they get on the way, they will just kill it and devour it, even if it will be a buffalo.
We do have a herd of buffalo. They're all moving into the thicket, unfortunately, so we can't follow them off-road. And also, with buffalo come thousands and thousands of flies, which is not very pleasant to kind of sit in. So, just like I said, just checking to see where the buffalo are, and they've moved closer towards Buffelshoek Dam, but now they seem to be going sort of back southeast again. So I think they'll just end up where we found them this morning. They've probably had a little bit of a drink already. Look, Craig, can you see that one that's scratching itself on the tree near the mast, just to the right of the mast? Oh, never mind, it's moved off. So there was one buffalo that was using a tree as a scratching post, but it is now gone. It is moved off. That's another one that's doing it as well. Yeah, this is a different one. This is not the same buffalo that was scratching, but I suppose they're going to use these smaller trees anyways. Some of them might have a bit of mud on them if they have drank at Buffelshoek Dam. And I reckon that will be really, really nice. We know that it eventually suffocates all the parasites and then they scrape them off. But that's the buffaloes. Let's carry on. Like I said, them, you can see disappearing. So we won't hang around. I don't think there'll be much happening at the dam. Maybe a buffalo bull left behind. I doubt it though. It looks like the majority of them have already moved off. We're just sort of getting the back of the herd passing through the trees. Now we have to shake the flies as well. There's so many of them. Can't believe they find us tastier than the buffalo. Now, I'm not sure what smells worse where Tingana has been over the last few days, that rotting warthog carcass or the hyena. Sydney, what do you think?
So I can see that here, where we are at the moment, the chances of finding Tingana, they are very, very much high. As I have seen some couple of old tracks here, and there's even 2 hyenas around here. It's just that where he is lying down at the moment, we are not too sure. The sun is very hot at the moment, and he's changing the spots every time. But maybe we might find him. I'm going back there to the old carcass and see. He must be lying down somewhere, not very far away from there. So I've been to the tree house dam and there was nothing there at all. So the only tracks I have seen, they are heading towards this direction where we are at the moment. So this cat must be hiding somewhere around here. Koki, thank you very much for your help, and I hear that you managed to identify that what we saw earlier on, that hyena is Koki. So these hyenas must have to look for food because they've got a small one to look after. They need quite a lot of energy. So Tingana is lying down somewhere here, but because I'm battling to see him here I'm going to leave the area. I will come back when the conditions are favorable. I will come back again here during the sunset. So now let's go back to the Masai Mara. David, his lions, they are up and running.
Lions also have been known to conserve energy just like the hyenas. Sydney, I would agree with you 100%. They're very energy saving. And for example, when they go flat like that, you'd wonder they might take 2 days, 3 days, apart from these ones that are mating before they go for a kill. And once they hunt and they're full, they will tend to utilize all what they have eaten very well. I was talking of a particular spot I had seen, not way near the knee. If you look way up on that female manu, there's a little dark spot. I'm not sure you can see it. Thank you so much. And to me, that looks like a wound. And you can tell by the number of flies and the twitching kinktail is having to get the flies out. Yes, and I think Yaem agrees with me in the final control that's a wound. And I would only guess this must have been from maybe a fight from other female, maybe not. Maybe a buffalo horn, maybe not. There could be a few possibilities of, or causes of getting a wound there. I was talking about Kipuli, another male that we see around this area, that's huge and in charge, who was involved in a fight with 2 youngsters. As much as he won the fight, he incurred a huge damage on his right ear and he got a very big scar. So I do not know whether Kinktail here was fighting with another female over this male for mating. I do not know. I haven't seen lionesses doing that, but what I've seen, I have seen them either fighting for territory or fighting when they got a kill if another pride want to come in. We'll be trying to examine that one maybe much later on if we see it in a better way. But she's trying to cover it with her back left leg just to keep the flies out. But you'll be surprised how quickly cats and especially lions recover from wounds. Chris will tell you, I would say lions or cats in general, the big cats I'm talking about, lions and leopards, all around the year, they'll keep breeding. With a gestation period or give or take of 3 months, they'll keep breeding. The only challenge to certain cats, like the cheetahs, is they have very high mortality rate. And even lions, they have high mortality rate in terms of either starvation or predator issues or diseases. But yes, just to answer your question, Chris, cats will breed all year round. And just give you a good example of animals that will not breed all year round. Animals like the wildebeest, will get 1 calf in a particular time or just once in a year, and they've got a very marked breeding season. But cats, lions, cheetahs, leopards, and other cats, civets, savo cats, not civet, but I'm looking at caracal, they'll breed all year round. I'm trying to guess, this could be the 3rd or 4th day of mating of this particular pair, and they tend to slow down as time goes. A proud cat mama, Jumbo, and I am always excited to hear your name. What I found out during the mating time for lions, there could be a period between 5 days to about 10 days, depending on the age of either the male or the female, or both, or their physical condition. But I found out that particular time, unless an opportunity avails itself to them, they do not hunt. How they survive those days, I do not know, but I think it's such a ritual that's very crucial and very important to me, that they want to keep the consistency of mating and to make sure they do not stop it until the female conceives. So out of my experience, I think 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 days when mating, they do not hunt. But I would not be surprised if a zebra comes along or a wildebeest. They would go for it. And that's the wound I'm talking about. To me, it looks quite fresh. looking at the clotted blood there, unfortunately, quite a number of flies, which don't help in the healing. So again, as I said, it could be in a claw mark, it could be a teeth mark, it could be in a horn from a buffalo, who knows? But so many things happen here out in the wilderness. But for Kipuli, the male I was talking about, that one I can tell for a fact it was a claw mark because I saw it and I was with Manu and got a huge clue from the youngster. And as much as he won the battle and kept the female, he was left with a mark to remember, and he had to sit down for like half an hour to nurse his wounds. Not that I can remember females fighting over males for breeding or for mating rather. But it's time to slow down on the mating. And as they said, it could be the 5th or the 6th day. And when they're winding up the mating or the honeymoon, they tend to slow down. The first few days, we are not surprised to see them mating 50, 60 times in a day. Sleepy, sleepy? And you can see the breathing very slowly. Temperatures have gone considerably down, and I am not the only one who got predators.
You can see that now I am again back at the Twins Dam, where I have got some visitors here, 2 visitors. And these are not the hyenas that we saw earlier on. These ones are belonging maybe to a different clan, as the one that we saw earlier on is the one that is belonging to the Juma clan, where there is a small cub at the moment. Here now I have got these 2. Look at what they're doing. They are very much wet. The legs, they are all deep in the mud, so they are having some mud wallow. So this is now turning to become a mud pool for the hyenas to come late afternoon and during the day and early mornings as well. When there was still quite a lot of water available, I saw them here as well having some water bath. Debbie, the herbivores to move at night, the chances are there, but herbivores always avoid moving at night because of the following. The activity patterns of the predators is much more at night, and the activity pattern for the herbivores is during the day, most of them, because they don't want to interact with the dangerous big cats. So at night now, the chances of them interacting all night long, they are very much low. But you mustn't forget that the herbivores are well gifted. They go out for feeding purposes, and at night they do a process of rumination, which is why they are called ruminants. Herbivores, most of them, they have got 4-chambered stomach. And this 4-chambered stomach help them to bank food in order to use the food at the evening, so that they can be able to get at least more food to eat. They bank the food during the day and they eat the very same food at night. So this kind of mud helps these animals when it comes to the lowering of the body temperature. Not only the hyenas, we have seen big animals such as the elephants, they come and do the same. So these ones, I'm sure, they're even enjoying this way much better than the big animals, because they can be able to just go deep in a very small water hole like this. So for an elephant to cover the whole body in this area is not easy. He must turn every time. But this one can be able to submerge the whole body apart from the head here by this small water hole. So now let's go back to the Masai Mara and see how David is doing on that other side.
The honeymoon continues here. And again, you just see what I was talking about earlier. the female just rolling as soon as they finish mating, and you can hear either both of them, the male and the female, growling. That is one bit that I never know what it means. But again, as I said earlier, for the female, if you look at her, you can see her pose up. She is facing up and her back down. It's just to enhance and make sure the semen gets to the fallopian tube. A big yawn there, and I'm sure all is going well for them between this male and Kingtail lioness. You wanna go poop? Yeah, that's not unusual. Once they finish mating, that's exactly what happens. Hopefully they don't ask for a cigarette and a glass of whiskey. But then they go flat there, and they may not be bothered of any zebras. Earlier I had seen a zebra coming so close to it. The male stood up, he looked up, and he was not worried of what was happening there. So that's Game Rangers camp you see up there. But not very far from where we are, there's a place that we got a cheetah. If you look carefully there, there's a place that we got some cheetah at one place, and I'm thinking they're about 100 meters apart. The cheetah and these two lions here are about 100 meters apart. And we have game rangers who are giving people slots on how long to be there. And my plans are before long, I'm going to make my way there and get close to the cheetah, having had the best time with these lions here. Just notice how they blend in very well in the grass. Bella, I do not think they'll groom each other during the mating season. I don't think they have time for that. I think they burn so much energy when they mate, and the next thing they need to do is just to re-energize for the next mating session. I haven't seen them like grooming or candling. What I've always seen, as soon as they finish mating, they both go boom, and until the female is ready, unlike all the other animals where the males may make the decision, when to mate or when to mount the female, for the lions is always the female. Once she is ready, automatically the male just mounts her and they mate. So I haven't seen grooming. Manu, if I may ask you, have you seen lions grooming during mating time?
I've only seen the male lick the female on the back of the neck.
Yeah, Manu also says as soon as they finish mating, they lick either the back or a little bite here and there. But grooming, ideally, as we have always seen lions do, either in a pride, it does not happen during mating. But I think, to me, mating to them is very special, and they do not have time for any other candling behavior. You can see about 6 times mating now. So we might be waiting to find out whether they might mate again, and I'll try and make my way that area to see if they might get close to the cheetah. And there's a vulture up there, I guess. Well done, Manu. That's what we call the Rupert's griffon vulture. And when we talk of migration, it comes with some depth, and these vultures will always clean the savannah. Well, apart, from the vultures that clean the savannah, we also got other predators that also clean the savannah when they're not very hot.
So you can see that the trees now, some of them don't have leaves at all. So the trees, they do lose quite a lot of water through a process called transpiration. Transpiration is a process which is facilitated by strong winds. When they're blowing trees, they get stressed and they lose quite a lot of water. Now we are at the treehouse dam, and looking at this dam, you can see that now it's starting to get very dry, and another piece of the dam is completely dry at the moment. And what is taking away the water here is not only the animal coming to drink. There is a process called evaporation, whereby these kind of dams, they lose water. But this water that is now going away is not going to get lost. It's the water that is going to go up by the space and wait until the right time and come back again in the form of precipitation. It is a cycle. It's called a hydrological cycle. They also call it a water cycle. Water gets absorbed from the ground and evaporates to the surface, where it's going to reach the intertropical convergence zone. At the intertropical convergence zone, the temperature is going to drop down to 1 degree and we are going to get rain. So if the waters are not exposed like we are seeing now, if we cover these dams with quite a lot of things on top, the process of evaporation is not going to take place, and that is what is going to limit the amount of rain next year. Expose the dams so that the natural process can take place and take the water up and bring it again in the form of rain. You can see that it's very dry. It looks like an elephant. Romet, when it's falling, the area here where I am in Lowveld, we are receiving, I think, more than 450 to 650 millimeters every year. So here where I am, this dam is not that very big. I'm not too sure in terms of the whole capacity during the rainy season, but it's one of the dams I can see it does have a high holding water capacity. This is very dry. You can see some of the area that looks like an elephant skin. Look at that. Look at that. This looks like an elephant skin. So, but this dam is going to have water again during the first rains this year. So I'm going to carry on now and see if we can find any of the spotted cat. I'm going to head back to the Muluwati, where I'm going to target Tandi and Kalamba. So maybe our luck is by the Muluwati drainage line.
I also hope so. It'll be nice to see them again. I have not seen Tanya and Kalamba for a very, very long time. Anyways, we are... Is this a new road? Must be. I don't know what this is. What do you think, Craig? Okay, we'll come test it another time. Okay, we're gonna go around. I want to check Sydney's dam. Just want to have a little look about and see if there's anything around there. There isn't any water in it, but it's kind of where the Vokum line roars were coming from this morning. So I thought it's cooled down a little bit now. We might as well go all the way around that side and just have a little look. And hopefully we will find some lions. Well, I know where the lions are. I'm just not going to them yet because they're fast asleep doing absolutely nothing. So we'll go a little bit later. What is the time? Probably go at about 5:30 or so. So in 38 minutes, we'll start heading in that direction. And we'll go the scenic way around and see if they get up and start moving about. Now there's going to be quite a bit of buildings and things like that as we're coming up to the gate. So this is one of the entrances to the Northern Sabi Sand for those of you that are fairly new, and if we haven't done the tour, it's just around here. So there's the gate. Come in over there. Sometimes there's dogs that sniff your car, that make sure that you are not bringing anything in that you shouldn't be bringing in. I'm going to go down the sneaky corridor. This is where some of the conservation team lives. People, probably heads of anti-poaching units, will stay around here. We'll go through this corridor. Okay. There's the bushwhacks. There's a... Oh, hang on, where they're going? They're in here. There's two, actually a pair of grey, it's gone. There's a pair, or was a pair of grey-headed bushwrikes. Always in the gardens. Oh, there's one. We'll have to look through the electric fence. No, we won't worry about it. Anyways, a nice bird to always see. I've been hearing them lots lately. Okay, now we start scanning. Just going to check very carefully. No, it doesn't fit there here. Impala can jump fairly high. They are long distance jumping champions, but they can also leap sort of a fair height. Although they're not the high jumping champions, kudu can leap straight over 3 meters fairly easily, no problem whatsoever. And impala, I'm going to say, can probably leap a height of between 1.5 and 2 meters or so. Probably about that high. So they wouldn't be able to clear a game fence, I don't think, the big fences around properties, but they can jump very, very far. They can leap a length of about 10 meters, which is pretty impressive. So, and that's at a full sprint though, as you can imagine. You need quite a bit of momentum to be able to do something like that. But even the Deka and Steenbok can jump fairly high, especially when there's wild dogs chasing them. Come on, turtle dove. So I'm just lathering up as this dry heat is really so great for your skin. Gotta keep the lips moist. Oh my goodness. Now David has got all the animals today. He's gone from his mating pair of lions to now the one that can run the fastest.
Well, I think today is one of my luckiest days because this cheetah here, and I'm sure you can all tell it's a cheetah from the spot, she is barely 100 meters away or so from the mating lions. Will you believe that? The lions are not bothered, they're not concerned, you know, with this cheetah. I'm not sure they know she is here. They're doing their thing, they're just mating. And the cheetah, I also am not sure she knows they are there. My guess is she doesn't know, because from the slumber she is in a different world, and she's like, I'm enjoying every moment. So my guess is this cheetah does not know we got bigger predators than her, barely 100 meters away. I've been looking for her the last 2 minutes. Hey Mohammed, thank you. You're asking for a cheetah, and Mohammed, there you are. There you are. And we are lucky. I was saying earlier, Mohammed, I've been looking at her. I've not been able to identify who she is, but I examined her at one point when she had her tail up, and I can tell she is a female. I saw she is a female, but we have had 2 females around this area, one that we call Kakenya, and another one that we call Naritoi. So that is the only thing I may need to confirm once she stands up, but definitely it's one of those 2, Kakenya or Naritoi. We have always used the pattern or the markings on the tail to tell who is who, but definitely in that position it's very difficult to tell who she is. Does it look hungry to me? As much as the belly is not very bulgy, it looks fine, very good, well streamlined for a cheetah. And I'm trying to imagine what would happen if she wakes up and walks in the direction of the mating lions. Definitely the mating will not stop, and what will happen is she will definitely change direction immediately. Well, Emma, I mean, they will not fight because the cheetah knows it doesn't stand a chance to fight the lions. Lions are too large for her, they're just too big, and if anything, lions would easily bring her down and eat her. So Emma, definitely, absolutely no chance of a fight. But if there could be a possibility of a fight, I've seen once, is when I saw one female who had 8 cubs. 8 cubs, teeny, and that's a couple of years ago, and there was a single lioness just walking on its own, And there's no way this cheetah would have defended these cubs. What they've been known to do is to pick the cubs by their neck and maybe run with them or hide them somewhere. And that cheetah stood her ground, and the lioness was debating. And what the cheetah did, she made herself look so big, and there was a standoff, and the lioness wondered, do I go for her or not? But in the meantime, the cubs were able to walk away. So ideally, Emma, cheetahs, lions, zero chance of a fight. Very nice spots, you know, we can tell from a distance also that is a cheetah. Apart from the other obvious differences between cheetahs and leopards is the spots. So cheetahs being very sporty. Thank you so very much. Loves that story. But yes, I mean, any mother have those natural instinct of just wanting to defend the babies, whoever you are, or whatever challenges their babies will face. Even a faint-hearted mother will stand up to a very big danger and like, you know what, you're not going to touch any of my babies. So should you see a leopard, we have seen many times a leopard like Tingana or Hosanna in South Africa, and you'll tell the differences, cheetahs having spots and leopards having the rosettes. Tony, I highly doubt they would fight. Cheetahs do not have territories, and both of them are females. And what happens is cheetahs have what we call home ranges. And in a particular area where they are, they might stay in that area for a couple of weeks and then keep moving. And they only keep moving because of food. Otherwise, males have been known to maintain a particular area because of food. But females, once, you know, they meet to the male and they mate, they'll always tend to keep going. But I highly doubt, you know, Naratoi and Kakenya would fight. They have been seen together, but nobody has been able to document or record any fight between the two. Very rarely cheetahs will have competition or bad blood between them, especially if it's a mother and a daughter. And once in a while you've seen mothers and daughters pairing together after a couple of years, and you'll see them snuggle, play about, groom each other, and then shortly after they go separate ways. Well, the cheetah, you look very sleepy. We hoped at one point you'd rise and shine, but we've got a few other people waiting behind us who would also like to have a glimpse of this cheetah. At least raise your head or just flick your tail before we leave, please, cheetah. And also, we could be happy to know whether you're Naratoi or Kakenya. Manu, who do you think she is?
It's Naratoi.
Manu thinks Naratoi. I have no idea, but we're just guessing. Naratoi was not seen very far from this area a few days ago, so she could be Naratoi. Who knows? Very high mortality rate of cubs cheetahs got. Well, we'll let other people behind us, give them some room for them to enjoy this view of this magnificent female cheetah, be it Naratoi or Kakenya. But in the meantime, we'll go across to Taylor in South Africa.
Oh, a gymnogene. Where are you going? Who are you terrorizing here? Trying to see, it's you can just see it flying away. It did turn with the wind, but it may have been an unplanned turn. As like I said, we've been saying the whole drive, it's been very windy. Oh well, off it goes. I thought it was going to maybe land on the dead tree, but it didn't. There we had an okay sighting the other day of one, which was quite nice. Oh, I wish it would come back. Anyways, so we're getting to that beautiful time of the day where it's golden hour, and now I'm hoping that by the time I arrive at Calico Pan, the lions will be there having a drink. That's, of course, wishful thinking. I highly doubt that that's going to be the case. I'm sure they're still going to be sleepy, but I think it's a good idea, whoever's controlling the dam cam, maybe just to have a little scan around, because it could go either way. They could come here to Calico Pan, or they could go to Vuyutela Pan to have a drink. Haven't seen any tracks, or I've seen lots of tracks, but they're old tracks, nothing new from after this morning's safari. They've also been grading the road, so if they did move around, I don't think we would have even known. They're all nice and, well, they're not quite smooth, but they've got like little lines in the road from where the branches have got caught, when the tires have been dragged. Okay, we'll just creep around the corner. Maybe there'll be some elephants waiting for us. No, it looks like there is nothing around, not even at the pan. That's disappointing. I thought we would definitely see something there. Hello, very pregnant Inyala. Just gonna let her cross. No, don't run. These are the Inyala that live in camp. They're always in there, munching on the piles of leaves. They're all have all dropped from the trees. They get raked all in one spot, and then the Inyala use it like a feeding pile. It's quite funny. But there is nothing but turtle doves anywhere near the pan, and one hornbill. I feel like that's quite typical. And I'm pretty sure that will just happen throughout the whole day. Birds here and there will come down for a drink and then fly back again, and come down for a drink and then fly back. But they're not very comfortable about being around the water either. So just like the mammals are typically nervous on windy days, so will the feathered friends. Bob, we hardly ever see cheetah here at Djuma. Unfortunately, it's not the greatest terrain for them. They do prefer open areas, as most of you know. They can, of course, adapt their hunting strategies, but not as well as leopards and lions can. So we see them every now and then. But, yeah, it's been a while since we have last seen some cheetah. But this area isn't particularly known for fantastic cheetah sightings. Okay. Off we go. Right. I can't believe that there's a track that's withstood the wind today. Let's go to Sydney to see which animal has left a footprint in the sand.
I have got a very, very interesting track on the ground, and this track is showing me that it's quite a very, very, very fresh track. You can see right here, I have got the fresh track, and this one is Thandi. Thandi is in the area here, and I can't see the other tracks, and the only track I can see is this one. At least now I am convinced enough that Thandi is in the area. So the chances of seeing Thandi, they are very, very, very high at the moment. So the reason why I'm saying this track is fresh is because where I am, there is too much wind blowing. But this track, when I'm looking at these loops, it's still clear. Everything is clear there. This track, I can promise you, this animal has been here less than an hour ago. Let me show how the tracks can easily get disappeared from the wind. You can see that with the wind blowing, this track, it was supposed to look like this. But because it's fresh, we saw it nice and clear like this. So I'm going to be following on this track now. This animal is right somewhere in front of us. So let's see, I don't want to waste time here. I want to try by all means and find these cats in this area. I haven't seen Thandi for a long time. My safari, the little trek for Tlalamba is not here. Maybe Thandi was looking for something for Tlalamba to eat. At this stage, I don't think Tlalamba is able to catch anything for herself. So that track got disappeared somewhere here. I can see the track now here. It seems like also Hosana is here, because there is another track that I saw just now, which is more like a male now. So I can see that Hosana as well is in this area. So they've been spotted together this morning, but the fresh tracks. That is what I am hoping. She must be watching me at the moment when I'm driving here looking for these kind of animals. the chances of seeing them, they are very much high. So I just want to check here where I am now and see if we can pick any of these cats here. I'm very happy with the weather at the moment, as the weather is cooling down. It's going to encourage the activities of the cats here. So these tracks got disappeared somewhere here. There's a little drainage here where I'm just trying to check if they are not hiding in here. This is not going to be an easy exercise. When there's Kalamba and Tandi in the area, Kalamba can be very much shy. So now, let's go back to David, who is also driving at the moment. I will be looking, see if I can find these two cats.
Well, we left to a cheetah because she was just laying flat, and also we had to allow other people behind us to come and enjoy the view, and we decided to do something different. And while doing that, we spotted, or Manu rather, spotted a lioness from 20-30 kilometers away. And Manu spotting one, I spotted the second one. Why are you laughing, Manu? Because I do not know how he spotted that, but we got two lionesses ahead of us, and we do not know as yet, but my guess is the sausage tree pride consists of 3 females, and these two that we're just about to see another 45 seconds could be the one, or it could be a female that had been having cubs that we've been looking for. Now, this even could be more exciting. Let's find out if this is the lioness that has not been, we have been looking for. What I'll do, I'll first stop here just to warm up with them. I don't want to go very close as yet, but it's one female and she got the cubs. So this is still the sausage tree pride, and this is the other mama, or the other female, that has the 2 cubs. And you see what I was just saying, I will not go very close because chances are they're still very skittish and not used to the vehicles, and they may go away. And how nice, we still have that one there. One just took off, not because of us, maybe because she has not been used to seeing cars. And the direction she is looking at is where Kinktail lioness is. So one cub still have the carriage, and I think this is the closest I will go so that we don't scare them. And I hope Em in the final control is enjoying this. Fantastic. So this female and the one we saw earlier mating form the pride of the sausage tree pride, and she got teeny cubs, and one just laid down there, and the other one just ran behind and hid. Most likely they got a small place they've been living in there, either like a small little den. Oh, the 2 of them now are out. Hello. Time for play because it's a bit cool. Time to socialize, flex their muscles, roll, most likely chase each other. And the mom is looking at the horizon and wondering, will she be going for dinner tonight? Hello there. How cute is this? Lioness is getting 1 to 4 cubs, is normal, and I think this particular one did well. She got 2. To me, they look to be in very good shape. And earlier I was talking about mortality rate of cubs, and for lions, mortality rate, the biggest concern is always drought or hunger, tends to kill them than anything else. They'll always sometimes starve to death, if not diseases or predation, say from other predators like hyenas. But I can tell these 2 will survive. They look fine to me, and we still have the migration going on. I'm not sure that is what that female is looking, and you can see her eyes are glued to a distance, and earlier we were watching not very far, like hundreds of wildebeest and zebras very close to the mating lions. And most likely when it gets dark, the lions know the wildebeest don't go very far. Laurie, not sure whether this or the batch or first litter of the cub of this particular lioness here, I have no idea. And what I know, we have not been able to identify this particular or give a name to this particular lioness, but we know for a fact she belongs to the Sausage Tree Pride. But from her age and how she looks, I'm not surprised. Oops, she just turned around. She's fully grown, mature. It could be maybe her third or fourth. I mean, with a gestation period of about 3 months, they could comfortably have 3 liters, in a year. Should 1 liter go or die for one reason or another? What did you see? What did you pick? Another good yawn. That's fine. Oops, did you go down? Are you trying to roll there? She raises up. Where are you going? And I'm sure your calves will follow you. Alrighty. A very warm welcome and hello everyone, and welcome to the Masai Mara or the Mara Triangle in Kenya. And we got 2 small little bundles of joy there, 2 small cubs of lions in the grass there, just walking and either going very close to the mother. Hello. And you see it's playtime because the temperatures have cooled. The cubs of most carnivores will always come out and play. And you see the 2 lionesses there. My guess is the one in the middle there could be the mother of these 2 cubs. So they're just snuggling in the grass there, grooming each other and flexing their muscles. And my name is David, and with camera on me today is Manu. Very good. And thank you very much, David. You say you love lion cubs, and this is exactly what we have. Now, remember, this is a very interactive safari, and you're more than welcome to ask any questions. And you can tweet on #SafariLive, or you have any comment you can make. But now, there's that one particular lioness that was heading that direction, and sorry about my head. And what's happening here? And they might be going to... Sorry, I am bringing that question again from Shamson. Shamson, my guess is these cubs are a few weeks old. I do not know for a fact how old they are, but yes, they have been able to meet the whole pride. If you look carefully, we have 3 lionesses here, and there's a 4th one that's not very far from here. So my guess is, Shamson, this is the mother, and she is the mother of those 2 cubs to the left. They are trying to chew grass, trying to chew leaves. And I would want to believe they have been introduced to the rest of the pride. When very young, Shamson, oops, having a poo break there, definitely doing number 2. When very young, after they're born, the mother will tend to keep them away from the main pride for quite some time until they can walk, until they open their eyes, and they'll be able to move around like now. And that's why we have seen 3 females here, and the 4th one not very far from where we are. How cute is that? And you can see how the wind is blowing. not sure the direction the wind is going is for advantage of these lions, because it's blowing right straight to the wildebeests. And now that one is making a move and following the other lioness that moved earlier, and the direction they're going is a place we had seen loads and loads of wildebeest and zebras together. And it's in such cool temperatures that we have found out cats going for a hunt, and more so lions. This time around, lions, cheetahs. But they'll always have to strategize. That was doing a pee break there before they commit themselves to hunting. Heather, lions do what we call allo suckling, and if there could be any other female here that, you know, would be able to have milk or would be able to be suckled by these cubs. We have seen lions doing allo suckling, and cubs would suckle from any female in the group. So we're gonna see whether they're gonna move, and they're just staying there. So let's find out. We'll try to turn around and follow these two lionesses and find out where they're going. So if you've got any other lactating female in the pride, cubs of lions have been known to suckle from either of them that could have any. They could suck. Just want to turn around the car a little bit and see the direction they are looking at. Not any prey, not any antelope I can see. And let's look at that female there on the left. And Maria, what would happen? Lion cubs will always stay with their mother until they're independent. But if they're females in the lion kingdom, they will remain in the pride and they will not move. But if these cubs, Maria, turn out to be males, at one point they'll be shown the door, and they're going to form their own coalition, or they're going to start their own life. But in the lion's world, the females tend to remain together for a very long time, or I would say for the rest of their life. Only challenges come, Maria, if we get a new male coming in this area which has not sired these cubs, and it will want to have its own cubs. They are always sometimes tempted to kill the cubs, and by so doing, this female here would automatically become an estrus, and she will mate with a new male. What are you looking at? What attention got you there? Okay, this is so beautiful. And at this age, they tend to become so playful, flexing their muscles, sharpening their teeth, biting each other or biting grass, and also trying to sharpen their nails at the same time. Hello, cubs. Don't stay alone there. Stay close to Mama. And I can tell you, I do not know what time, but at a given moment today, these three lionesses here will go for a hunt. They all look in the same direction and not knowing exactly what to do. That the one we just saw there, and you see this one here also. And as much as you do not see them having any, or you don't hear them saying anything, they'll always have a lot of communication with them, a lot of sign language, and they always communicate with each other, and they could be having some plans. So that's the third one that moved in the front we're trying to locate, and there she is all the way on the horizon, and she is walking with purpose. Still, not like Alice, they're pretty different, and when they hunt, they have a particular way they strategize. And you can see the vultures on top of that tree there, or the silhouette on that dead tree, or those huge birds that we call vultures. And I think it's time we also try and make a move. Now, these two lionesses have come together, and we truly want to thank you very much. That's just having a poo break. Oops. And the cubs are right behind somewhere. And how exciting this has been So the cabs are walking close to Mama. Excellent. We could not ask for a better sighting than this. And you notice how she blends in the grass as the wind keeps blowing in the grass there. She goes down, I'm sure, to play with the sister or the brother. Oops, jump. Hello there. Keep walking. Don't stay very far from your parents or from your mother. So many dangers where you are. It could be anything. In the neighborhood, could be hyenas, could be leopards. Other predators have been known to go for lion cubs. This has been pretty exciting, hasn't it? Quite epic. We've been looking for these cubs for the last 1 week, me and Manu, and until today we had not seen them. Very many thanks for having been with us. Please continue keeping alert. We might be sending you for more notifications. You never know what happens out here in the bush. Well, welcome back, and we have not left these cabs, and you're not leaving them in the next few minutes because they are now on the move. The mother has moved quite a distance. I'm looking at about 20-30 meters away from these cabs, and of course the cabs are tagging along, and the mother is keeping a close eye on them, doesn't want to take any chances. And that's the mother and maybe one of the other sisters or one of the females in this sausage tree pride. There were 3 lionesses that we saw and these 2 cubs, but the first one moved and disappeared, and I think she was walking with a purpose, and my guess is she was walking towards the wildebeest. If not now, I'm sure tonight they might be planning to bring someone down. And below that tree you can see there's a zebra there. And you never know what will happen. We'll try and go close there and we'll let you know if anything happens. You can see the zebra and the lioness not far from each other as you go close there to find out if there could be any action, because I'm sure the zebra can't see the lioness and the lioness like, game over because you've spotted me. Let's find out what Sydney has for us in South Africa as the zebra takes off.
So I've just now spotted one of the hyenas from a very long distance here. I just want to check and verify what this hyena is up to, as I can see that the tracks of these cats, the tracks for these cats I'm looking for, they are just everywhere. So I'm convinced enough that here is where these cats are hiding. Look at that. You can see this hyena is up and running, and now it's cool. I'm hoping to see the activities of these cats here. So the chances of seeing any of the 3 cats that left the tracks on the ground, which is Thandi, Kalamba, as well as Ngosana, they are very much high. So I'm just going to go in here now and see, because I can see this hyena was sniffing something right here. So that hyena, I'm going to follow him until he leads me to something. Thank you very much for the well wishes. I hope I'm going to find these cats here. So the thing is, the cats, they can lie down flat. So it's always very difficult to see them. I have checked this area from the other angle, but there was nothing. But from this side, then I spotted the hyena here. So I just have to check this area carefully. So I'm just going to go back to the road now and carry on looking and see. Rosalind, the hyenas, they flick their tails too much, Maybe that is because they are chasing away the flies. Oh, here's the leopard. Oh, I can see there. I can see there's a leopard looking at me. Oh, really? Yeah, right there, right here. I think that is Kalamba. You see, right there. You see there? So, yes, if you can move the camera right there by that tree, I can see the leopard there. So if you can zoom in.
Okay, show me on the monitor.
That's right here. It's right here. There. Here's the leopard. Yes, there. Yeah. You can see there now. Can you see him?
Well spotted.
Hey, it's a very big one. Yeah. Thank you very much, Seb. So you can see that the hyenas, I am relying on them for orientation and navigation. So this is not Kalamba. This one is big, but from a distance, to me, it was like it's a small one. So I'm going to now check what this leopard is up to, as I can see that he's looking very much curious. So I'm not too sure what he's up to. So I just want to try and see what this leopard is up to. Yeah, this looks like Standi because I can see that she's calling, maybe she's calling Kalamba. Oh, she's quiet now. You can see. It means Kalamba is somewhere here. So I'm going to see if we can have a better sighting now. I'll try and approach much closer. So let me now pull further and see if we can have a better sighting.
It was spotted.
Oh, thank you very much. It's very, very far. So now let's go back to Taylor while I am heading towards the leopard.
Look at what we've got. It's a bird we've been talking about pretty much all afternoon and trying to chase, the grey-headed bushshrike. Very, very pretty bird. Just this one. I don't think it's realised that we've spotted it, which is why it's still lingering around. There you go, it's just flown up a bit. What are you looking for? Probably find a caterpillar or something. No, actually not a caterpillar. I don't think there are many caterpillars now at this time of the year. Maybe a praying mantis or a moth. Just resting up on that tree, that quarry tree there. Or maybe it's going to be the spot where it decides to roost. Off it goes. Awesome little bit. Well, I suppose they're actually not that little. Anyways, we haven't had any luck with the lions. Because they've dragged the roads, I have absolutely no idea when the cats move during the day. So I think they just moved to find shade. I also see there's a few vultures lingering around. But I don't know if they've killed anything. None of them have got full crops. So we've had a little look about, but I can't see anything. Let's see here, there's starlings shouting. What are you shouting at? And he's looking down. I wonder if there's something in and around that fallen tree. Oh, you know what it was? It was a slender mongoose. I saw it. It's gone now. I don't think it's gone, but I just saw it sneak around the corner behind the tree. Listen. That's because of that mongoose that they're all shouting at it. There's also an Inyala that's now terrified. Just down to the left, you can see its horns moving around. It is absolutely, I don't know if, well, now it's not so panicked, but when the birds made that noise, I've never seen an Inyala with such wide eyes. Terrified. But now that the mongoose has run away, everybody is relaxed. Cool. Okay, so I still don't know where the lions are. So we're basically just going to do what Sydney is doing, and has been doing, is just driving around the area that they were last seen, like he did with the leopards. And I don't know if he's got one of the ones he was looking for. We'll soon find out. Yeah, and then I'm hoping we're just going to bump into the cats either between here Vuyatela Pan or Galago Pan. They haven't crossed out because they didn't drag Buffelshoek boundary. There are no tracks on the fire break or on the main road going out. So I'm literally just going to go round and round and round and round and round until I eventually bump into them. Nonsensical, we can find too many owls here. Maybe we'll see some. Well, it's a good time to see them now, especially the crepuscular species, so like the barred owlets, the small ones, and also there's a squirrel, Greg. How cool is that? Silhouetted squirrel. Sorry, and also the pill-spotted owlets and the Verreaux's eagle owls and the spotted eagle owls. Those are the ones we normally see. This is not an owl, this is a squirrel though. That's navigating very carefully along this very prickly tree. I don't know what it's going after. Maybe it's eating some flowers or eating some nice green leaves. Probably the nice green leaves, as these are all really young. There we go, just nibbling away. Yum, delicious, wonderful. Eating those new leaves. Right, off we go across to Sydney, and hopefully between all of you, you'll be able to figure out which spotted cat he's got.
You can see now that I have got Tandy, a leopard I haven't seen for quite a long time. It seems like Tandy knows her name very well. And she has been just calling and calling since our arrival. We're not too sure what is bothering her, because she's just looking at one direction and she's looking for the little one. Look at that. She is not happy at the moment, and there is a hyena which seems to be feeding on something right there. I'm not too sure what that hyena is eating. So you can see right there, I've got the hyena who is feeding there on something. So when I'm checking there on the ground, I can't see very well. So this hyena looks very clean. You can see this one is maybe going for a bath somewhere by the clean water. Well, look at that. This hyena is doing something there. So that is Tandy calling. Daniel, that is very true. Tandy is not happy at the moment because she's not settled. She's calling every time she's calling, and Kalamba is not replying. So I'm not alone here at the sighting. There's some other vehicles approaching in order to come and share the sighting. You can hear Tandy is chuffing every time. Yeah, the wind is too much. It's not easy to pick up Tandy's chaff, but I can see that she is very much agitated at the moment. You can see she's on her toes. The head is up. Blue, that is true. Kalamba, every time when she's hiding somewhere, she doesn't want to stay there. She wants to go long distances, and that can jeopardize her life. She's irritated by the flies as well. She's trying to catch that fly, and it's not easy. So you can see that Tandy's nose is very much dark, showing that she's old. So I am not too sure what this hyena is feeding on at the moment. But all I'm seeing is that Tandy is very worried. I'm not too sure if maybe Tandy caught something and has been taken by the hyena suddenly, because I can see that hyena is busy now chewing something. So you can hear that she's chopping, and this hyena is just eating there. They're at a distance of about maybe 100 meters apart from each other. I'm standing by, said. You are more than welcome. So far we are only 2 stations. So you can see that this hyena is eating something. The problem is we can't see what exactly this hyena is having at the moment. So Hosanna might be as well somewhere around here, because the tracks on the ground is showing that it's Tandi, Hosanna and Kalamba. Really, the hyenas can attack those kind of little ones. So when they come across the cubs unattended without any other animal to defend them, it becomes a challenge. So that's why most of the animals, they do delegate their responsibilities to one of the female to stay behind with the little ones. So you can see that they are now she is slowly moving, and she's right looking at the direction of that hyena. So I'm just gonna pull forward and see what her intentions are. Okay. So this is lovely, but she has been calling a lot. She's looking very much stressed at the moment. So let's see what is it that is stressing Tandi at the moment. Maybe she lost a kill with this hyena. Because this hyena, we have seen it a lot here. So now you can see both. You can see the hyena. So you can see that now the hyena is very close to Tandi at the moment. So you can see that Tandi is now chaffing, calling. Yeah, that hyena has got a small bone. It's now trying to eat a small piece of bone. I can see it's right there. He's stepping on it. Yeah, something has happened here. Before us, I can see that what the hyena is trying to feed on is something very much fresh. So now let's go back to Taylor for some updates about what she is having at the moment.
Still the same when you last checked in with us. Absolutely nothing. I haven't got a clue where these lions are. They're somewhere, even if I don't know, they could have left. They actually could have just moved into a completely different area. But we of course don't sit with the animals 24/7, so it's hard to say when they did move. And if they were hungry, they'll hunt at any time of the day if there's any opportunity. So there are a lot of animals that hang around near Vuyatela Pan and Galago Pan. Lots of impala, wildebeest, occasionally some zebra, and other things too that they can gobble on. Lots of big inyala around. Not that that would be much of a meal for all those lions. So I don't know. Very difficult to say where they've gone, but maybe we'll bump into them, maybe we won't. but we'll just keep checking, bouncing between the two pans, because I haven't seen any tracks going anywhere else. So I don't know. I'm stumped. I'm so stumped. So on a bumble we'll go. Maybe we'll start checking for some owls. Excuse me, impala. See, lots of impala around here. Plenty of them. When they drag the tires and things on the road, they bring more debris, more broken branches and things on the road than there were before. It's a lot of fun. You end up spending your time picking up branches. Today I haven't though. I've driven around them. One day, when I feel like getting out of the car, I shall move them. I think we'll just check Bubbles' boundary and Gari cut line maybe once more. We're on Gallagher Road now, just to have a look. Maybe they've been moving through the block and I haven't checked down there for a while, so I think it's a wise decision that we head in that direction. It'd be nice for the school drive to join us. Well, for them to see lions. At least they'll get to see leopards, which is pretty cool. Oh, wonderful. It's that exciting time of the day where the young budding minds are going to join us on a safari. So without further ado, let's go to Sydney so he can welcome them.
Look at that. I've got a very lovely cat here, and this cat is just now using one of the vocal communications in order to speak with the little one. This is Tandy, one of the cats in the area, and Tandy has got a small cub called Kalamba, and for them to communicate, they chaff. You will hear she's going to make noise just now. It's just that this cat is worried about something going on here. There's even hyenas at the same time where we are at the moment, and she is not happy with the presence of the hyena here. That is how the mother and the cub communicates. So the cub, if the cub is in the area, has to respond to that kind of a call. Look at that. A very good evening and welcome to the beginning of the school drive. My name is Sydney from Niconico. I am traveling with Seb, who is my camera operator. We are going to be with you this late afternoon. And kids, ask your teachers to ask us questions. You can follow us on link #SafariLive and on YouTube chat stream. So now I have got a little bit of a situation. You can see right there, there is a hyena and a leopard are very close to each other. See, the hyena is coming now much more towards the leopards, and I don't think this leopard is going to be happy about the presence of this hyena. So these hyenas are mostly going together with the cats so that they can have some leftovers when the cats are having their meal. So the hyenas are scavengers. Scavengers are the animals who eat other animals' remains. Silas, fortunately, I haven't experienced that kind of a situation. So these animals, we work with them every day, and all we've got to do is to respect them. We are managing a natural system here whereby the animals behave their own natural life. So you can see every time the ears are moving. So this cat is trying to listen to the little one responding, and the little one is not responding at all. You see that tail is what you can use in order to check the internal mood of the animal. If you look at the tip of the tail is white. That white color is there in order to communicate when they are calling their little ones to follow them. The little one has to check that tail by the tall grass. When these cats are hunting, they also move the tail. And when they are fighting as well, they check the tail one of the two on a fight, the one who becomes submissive must have to lower the tail. When the tail is up, it means, look at that. You can see that she's charging. She's now charging the hyena. So this hyena is just about less than 5 meters away from this cat. They are very close to each other at the moment. Look at that. So the reason why this kind of female leopards and male leopards don't like hyenas a lot is that they spend much of their time going hunting, and when they catch these hyenas, they come and deprive the food. They come and take away the food if these cats, such as leopards, are not having good timing when coming to taking away the food up to the trees. If they are late to take the food up to the trees, hyenas come, they will come and take away everything. So you can see that this hyena is relying on his sense. They've got an acute sense of smell. Look at that. Now this is becoming very close. This hyena is not worried about this big cat right here. So maybe this hyena is going to show us something here. So I can see that now the hyena is avoiding, is going very far away from the cat now. So the females can be very dangerous when they've got small ones, because it is their responsibility to protect their cubs. So the cubs are not just vulnerable to the hyenas. There's quite a lot of things which can, look at that. Still keeping an eye on the hyena, still keeping an eye on this hyena. You can see that this cat is still calling the little one, and the little one is not responding. And when the little one is not responding, that also gives this female quite a lot of stress. The stress level goes high. So I have seen it happening every time Thandi is hidden. Kalamba is hidden by Thandi. When Thandi comes back, he's not there. So Kalamba still does not understand how it works in the bush. Always expose yourself to danger. Look at that. This is lovely. So these whiskers we are seeing there, those kind of long hairs which are coming out from the side of the mouth, those are the hairs these kind of big cats are using in order to merge, in order to judge the space in between the branches. When these cats are hunting, they rely on those kind of hairs in order to judge if they're going to pass in between these trees or not. They are very much sensitive, and they are there for the measurement of space. So now let's go back to Taylor and hear what she is up to next.
Right, sorry everybody. Well, apologies to the school that you're having technical difficulties. So we're going to take it back to our regular viewers just for the meantime. What is down there? There's a leopard, Craig. Go straight in, all the way. There. Who is that? Is it a leopard? Looks big, hey? No, if it's Kajima, I'm just looking because it looks like a fairly large leopard, which is a skittish male. Probably going to run. Let's go test it out. We'll see. Okay. Thank you. Very far away, as you can see. See, my eyes do work, even though I do drive past a lot of animals. For some bizarre reason, I can spot things hundreds of meters away. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to keep my eyes focused on it. Because if it runs, I want to see where it goes. I would imagine could be Tingana. Like I said, we heard that leopard sawing. I now run the risk of driving past the lions because my eyes are fixated on that cat down in the distance. So maybe Craig can help me scan. Just want to make sure. It's looking to the left, and he's looking back towards us now. Obviously the vehicles make a bit of noise, but there is quite a bit of wind, which hopefully will work in our favor. Okay, we've obviously got a little bit of a way to go. Right. I'm going to try and catch up with this spotted cat. It seems as though the school drive is back with us. Off you go to Sydney.
Look at that. This is a magnificent sighting. You can see that I've got a very big cat, lovely cat, one of the mothers in the area. This is Tandy. Tandy has got a small cub, and I'm just very worried where the small cub is at the moment. A very, very good late afternoon. I am Sydney Mikosi, and I'm traveling with Sebastian, who is my camera operator. And welcome, most of all, welcome to the Hood River School, to the show. I am Sydney, going to be with you now, and for your questions and comments you can follow us on Twitter, #SafariLive. You can ask your teachers to ask questions, and also you can follow us on YouTube chat stream. I am right here with one of the lovely cats, and this cat is against one of the hyenas at the moment. I don't know what has been happening here before me, but I can see that something has been happening. These two, they have got a tension at the moment. So you can see that this cat is now becoming relaxed, but the hyena just went away. So this cat has been calling the baby all along, and the baby is not replying. Maybe he's going to call again. Let's just listen. So what this mother is doing now is called chaffing. So she is giving a kind of a call in order to call the baby to come closer, and if the baby picks this sound, must have to also reply, and when the baby replies is when you will see the baby coming or the mother going there, but mostly the baby comes to the mother. So this mother is so very stressed because the cub she's got at the moment is still very young, and this cub does not listen, because every time the cub is hidden, she does decide by herself and go very far away from where she's hidden. So when the cubs are still very young, they don't participate on hunting activities. The mother must have to go by herself to go and look for food for the little one to eat. And that is when the little one can be vulnerable sometimes. You can see now I have got the hyena showing himself here. This hyena was eating and breaking some of the bones earlier on. So we're not sure if this hyenas managed to take away some food from this cat. So now let's go back to a Taylor who also got a spotted cat.
Hello everybody. Well, you may have heard the sounds of that spotted cat, and that is one of my favorite leopards. His name is Tingana. So welcome to the school that's joining us, and he has just made a sawing sound, which sounds like someone cutting into wood, but that is how he marks his territory. So he tells everybody, he shouts, tells everyone that he's the king of the castle in this area. No, he's just listening at the moment, but we're going to have to reposition to let him carry on. Right. My name is Taylor, and on camera with me today is Craig. And we're very lucky to have found this cat. Oh no, don't go that way, Tingana. There he goes. Now if he goes in there, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to follow him. Carlos, now you've asked where in Africa do I spend most of my time, and probably South Africa, although I have spent a fair amount of time in Kenya as well. but typically between those two places. But I was born in South Africa. Now, Tingana's not going the direction that we really wanted him to, because he's going into an area where we cannot follow him, unfortunately. He's obviously off to try and maybe find something to eat, some dinner. He was eating a warthog yesterday. He caught it the day before yesterday, actually. But it's now pretty much finished. And there were some hyenas that were laying below the tree, hoping that the kill was going to fall to the ground. But Tingana's just teasing them. He left it up there. Very cool. Well, that's quite nice. Off he goes. Like I said, unfortunately, that's the end of that sighting, as he's going into an area where we cannot see him or follow him. Wonderful. Cool, so we'll just carry on now. We'll carry on with our original plan of hopefully finding some lions. I'm wondering if I shouldn't check Buffelshoek Dam quickly. Maybe those cats have moved. I'm just deciding. Yeah, let's go do that. Vivian, at this time of the year, it gets quite hot. It gets very hot, in fact, so especially October, November, December, January, February. Today was 36 Celsius. Sorry, it's rolling back down into some sand to accelerate a bit more there. So yeah, it gets very, very hot, and it's going to be like this pretty much all the way through till February. We have quite a few. Actually, even winter here is not particularly cold. It gets a bit chilly in the morning and then the evenings, but during the day you wouldn't be able to go for a swim, but you can wear shorts and a t-shirt, which is quite nice. So the weather up here is probably the best in the country. So we'll go and check an area called Buffelshoek Dam now, just very quickly, to see if there are any lions that have come this way, because there were buffalo that were around there, and lions like to eat buffalo. So hopefully that's where they went, because I've been trying to search for the lions all day. I don't know where they're gone. I'm so sorry. Please can you repeat that, Emma? From everybody in the class, no, I don't have to think that he hid his tree. I know that he hid his kill in a tree, but he doesn't want it anymore. He's finished it, he's eaten the most of it, so he's moved off. That's why he's out doing a territorial patrol now. So he's done with his kill, and he's moved very, very far away. He actually moved past here last night already. I heard him make that same noise from my bedroom. And so he's probably just been resting up for most of the day, because it's been very, very hot. And they don't really like to move around too much when it's hot. They prefer to sleep. So now he's well rested. He can go out, and if he finds something that he thinks he can catch, he'll probably try and catch it and then eat it, and probably put it in a tree too. There's lots of hyenas and other things that want to steal that from him. So his best chance of keeping it hidden away is up in the tree. Right, let me send you to Sydney, who I think he's still got the leopards. Hopefully they don't give him the slip.
You can see that now Tandy, she's up on her toes now. She is very worried about something. I'm not so sure if the little one went too far away from her, because now she is calling aggressively. You can see now she's going there. So let's see what she's looking for. She just got disappeared right here next to the vehicle. Maybe she's gonna come just after the vehicle now. Oh, look at her. She's right in front of the car. She's chuffing there. So now we are on infrared so that we can have a better sighting. So you can see she's right here. So what we are hearing now So what we are hearing now is kind of a communication. You can see, look at that now on thermal. This is beautiful. So what we are hearing now is kind of a communication system these animals use in order to call each other from a distance. But this is not a system reliable by the old ones. This is just between a mother and a calf, a mother and a cub. Close. Most of the cats here in the game reserve, they do have names, specifically the big cats. So when it comes to the pride of lions, they've got names as a pride, not individuals. But the hyenas as well, which are not cats, they also got specific names. In general, quite a lot of animals, they are named. So this cat has been doing this for the past few minutes. At this stage, the time now is about 5 minutes past 6 in the evening. So this is the best time for the cats to move around. It's when the cats are becoming active. And as soon as the sun comes out in the morning is when they are going to sleep. So I'm going to keep following now so that we don't lose her. I can see now she's heading towards the drainage line. I'm going to have to go around to the other side now and see if we can have a better sighting from the other side. So now let's go back to Taylor, who just got Tingana earlier on.
Yeah, we are. We're looking for all sorts of other things now. We could see anything really because we're on a safari. So we could see owls, we could see bush babies and aardvark and porcupines and all sorts of wonderful things. So that's what we are going to be using the spotlight for, to try and find those animals. And then also hopefully the lions. That's the real plan. Annette, now you're inquiring about the length of time that we stay out on safari for. It depends. You met David, oh no, you didn't get to meet David. David is in Kenya in the Mara, and sometimes when we're in the Mara, we end up staying out the entire day. So we'll go from sunup to sundown, something even later, and come back in the early hours of the next morning. Out here we typically spend about 8 hours or so out. Are you looking at that thing? It's not an animal, it's a branch in the road. It catches me isn't it? Have a look. You're welcome to check. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing that catches me out every time. Yeah. See, Craig thought that was a animal on the road, like how we found Tingana, but I just know that branch catches me out every single time. So I now know that there's a Gwari branch in that exact spot. So yeah, so we spend a few hours out here in South Africa, not as much time in the bush as we do in Kenya. See, everything's very far away there. So sometimes you have to travel 3 or 4 hours to get to where you want to go. And there's no point driving all the way there to come back to go to camp, to go out for the afternoon safari. It makes more sense just to really stay out. So we take a packed lunch, lots of water, and cool drinks and things like that. And then we'll stop and maybe have a picnic somewhere. So it's all so much fun. Lots and lots and lots of fun. Let's go back to where we last had the lions this morning and try again. Check some watering holes. See if Anna,
listen to that. So you can see that the mother is still very worried and calling the little one who is not responding at the moment. You can see the black colors behind the ears is some of the areas these kind of cats are using for communication purposes. When these animals are moving, the tip of the ears has got some white colors there. They spot each other from a distance as well. So these ears can be able to hear very, very well. Vivian and Kaya, the most animal we are seeing here in the Juma Game Reserve, it is the impalas. Every day I can guarantee you, on every game drive, impala is guaranteed. So those are the animals that are not very worried a lot about the hot weathers. They have got a very interesting adaptability. They can easily adapt the harsh conditions because of their body design and the colors that helps them to reflect the heat. You can hear that this is mostly now like sowing. It's not like chaffing anymore. Sowing is just a way this kind of animals makes a noise such as like someone is sowing a tree. She's checking everywhere. Kaya, I haven't seen a big fight because this one always avoids the other animals with her cub. She doesn't feel comfortable to join the other ones. You can hear that is kind of a sow. That is how they do sowing. It's like someone is cutting a tree there. So this cat is trying by all means. It's just that there is no luck. So now let's go back to David by the Masai Mara and see how the rain is doing. So you can see that this cat is not giving up. It's still carrying on calling and calling, and I can't wait to see the direction where this little one is going to come from. But because of their good hearing ability, she was supposed to hear already by now if the little one is around here. So it seems like the little one has gone far. I am not hearing anything, nothing. The little one is not replying at all. But let's hope the little one is safe where she is. That is quite a very, very tricky and interesting question. These animals, they don't have an average number of spots. Each one of them has got its own stripe pattern. It's like our fingerprints. The spots on them are not identical. So they don't have same kind of an amount of spots. They are just different. So I'm just going to reverse now and see if we can reallocate this. So now let's go back to Taylor, who is now going for the lions.
We are trying to find them, but I don't know where they are. They're somewhere here. I'm just surprised we haven't caught them walking around just yet, because I thought they would have gone for a drink. But it seems like we're wrong. But maybe go for a little bit of a drink later. Perhaps it's still too hot for them and they're enjoying their sleep. Sometimes the lions will sleep for a very, very, very long time. I bet. Well, maybe at your age you don't like to take naps, but when you get older, you'll love naps. I promise you. You won't be able to wait to go to have a nap. And then you'll wish that you could nap like a lion. You wish that you could sleep for 18 to 20 hours a day. It's amazing how you change as you get older. So we're still looking around here. I'm hoping to spot them with my spotlight. I'm looking for the reflection of their eyes. Now, from all of you, what is the rarest animal I've seen? Rarest? It'll probably be some bird species. But animals that are unusual, not necessarily just rare, they're just, I suppose, uncommon to see. Maybe something like an aardvark, which is an anteater, or a porcupine. Even you don't see them all the time. You see them every now and then. That's where they are. So yeah, you see lots of cool things. I saw this thing called a striped polecat, which is like the equivalent of a skunk in South Africa. But I didn't see it in South Africa, sorry, in Africa. I saw it while I was in Kenya. That was pretty cool. That was really awesome. I didn't think I'd ever see one of those. However, one day I hope to see an animal called a pangolin, which looks like an armadillo, because they are one of the most endangered animals in the world. Unfortunately, people kill them for their scales. They use their body parts for all types of traditional medicine. So even though everybody knows about rhinos and elephants and things like that being poached, there's an animal, well, the armadillos and the pangolins are actually some of the more trafficked animals. Okay. Where are you, kitty cats? Well, they're big kitty cats, that's for sure. Now, it's pretty easy to be able to tell the animals apart because I get to do this every single day. So it isn't too hard. It might be difficult for some of you that have never seen some of these animals before, which of course is understandable. Okay. There we go. So now we're in black and white, as you can see. So that is called infrared, and it's a special light we use so that we don't bother the animals too much. We can actually follow these animals as they're hunting. We can see animals that we can't normally see at night, because they can't see this light, which we're really special to. And then that other light is just a normal spotlight. Now this is a young lion, and this is actually a boy, but unfortunately he has something called mange, which is, so maybe some of you will know from your pets at home. It's like this little parasite that eats the hair of the animals. Now this one is not so bad, but in his brother, sure, he's got it really badly. I don't know where he is though. He's somewhere here too. And he almost looks like he's been burnt, because you can just see his skin now, and the skin is black. So you'll see these patches of the sort of tan color that lions are, and then you'll see big patches of black skin, which is very sad. So that's also unfortunately stopped their manes from growing. And there is another pride of lions somewhere around here. These aren't actually the ones that I was looking for. I was looking for my favorite pride of lions called the Nkuhumas, but I don't know where they've gone. Maybe they're somewhere around here. But you can see he's just grooming himself at the moment. And normally lions and leopards and lots of animals spend quite a bit of their day cleaning themselves. Alright, now I was telling you about David in Kenya a little while ago. It seems as though the big thunderstorm has passed and he's able to say hello to you.
Hello boys and girls, and welcome to Kenya. Will you believe we are about 3,700 kilometers from South Africa to where we are? Or if you do the other conversion, we are 2,300 miles away. Now, I might not show you anything at the moment, but I'll show you a lot of darkness, because where we are is just pitch black. You can see that's all the darkness we have. And we are in a country called Kenya, and we are in a game reserve called the Mara Triangle. Sorry, Emma, missed you there. Now, boys and girls, I'm sure Taylor and Sydney told you earlier, one of the requests we'll always make to you is to ask us as many questions as you would like, through your teachers, of course. And that's a very good question from all of you. How many animals do we see, for example, in one day? Today, give or take, you won't believe it, I have seen about 20,000 wildebeest and zebras. 20,000. And I've seen so many of them, that too because wildebeest and zebras are animals that move together in big groups in what we call migration. I'm sure you're good in your geography, and if you look on the map of Kenya, this is the country of Kenya, and below it there's another country called Tanzania. So the wildebeest and the zebras will always move between those two countries, going like a clockwise movement, like that, and they move all around the area. So most of those wildebeest and zebras are right now in Kenya, and they've been here for the last 2 or 3 months, and most likely come end of October they'll start making their journey towards Tanzania or towards the south. Any animals you might see now is something on the road, for example a scrub hare or even a bird like an adger. But Taylor in South Africa has something more interesting than me.
Nope, we don't. Sorry, big stories. Our lions have walked off into the thicket now. So we'll see if we can get them again. I think one is going to go and drink water somewhere. And we'll go and try and find him. If not, we'll just carry on with our drive. I would love to find the rest, or the actual big pride of lions. They've also been very sneaky. Very, very sneaky today. And just avoiding us. Okay. Let's go see. There's a pan just off to the right of us, so we'll see if we can wait there. Yes, I have seen many different animals fighting before. The most recent animals I've seen fighting was a fight between 2 leopards and then a hyena joined. That was quite cool. I've seen elephants fighting, I've seen giraffe fighting, I've seen lions fighting, I have seen wild dogs and hyenas fighting. I've seen the hyenas fighting the wild dogs. When you work out in the bush for a very long time, you get to see all these kinds of things. But if you just come to Africa once, you probably won't see anything like it. It takes a lot of patience, and you need to spend a lot of time out here. And it also has quite a bit to do with luck. Luck has a huge part of it. Some days you're luckier than others. And literally a safari is all about being at the right place at the right time. And if you aren't, you can be a matter of seconds late. You can completely miss an animal. You might not even know that they were even there. But if I go here, the lions will eventually come out, but who knows? I might just go back to sleep. Can't see anything yet. Okay, well, we'll keep looking around here. It might be a bit of a wait before they come out, but I don't think you'll have to do any waiting around to see Thandi.
I can see that now Thandi is very much tired because of calling a lot. She's now just listening and not calling anymore. She was even demonstrating some kind of a sewing earlier on here, but I can promise you this cat is not settled today. And I can see her. I don't think so. Maybe a baby leopard just went too far away from where the mother left her. There's even quite a lot of noise here where I am from the baboons. When I came to this area, I picked up 3 different tracks. It was 3 different leopards. So the baboons maybe are also worried about the presence of the other leopards in the area. So I'm sure that this little one is somewhere around here just hiding. Vivian, cats like this, they can be able to consume quite a lot of meat. They can eat up to 30 to 40 kilograms a day. But these animals don't hunt every day. They mostly hunt and spend 3-4 days, sometimes 5 days. That is determined by the size of the previous kill. And sometimes they even kill when having another kill already, because killing to them is kind of an instinct. So this is one of the very successful hunters. This female can be able to perform her hunting activities very well. But hunting is those things that goes with the experience. So now let's go back to Taylor, who got something very interesting as well.
No, not yet, but we will in a minute. They're slowly coming this way. Here they are. Coming around to drink. That's his little scrub hare that you can see in the distance. Standing very still, not wanting to be spotted by the lions. There they are. Oh, beautiful cats. Now you are going to see some spotlights, of course, as you can imagine. Because there are people on safari, but they don't have the special lights like we have. That'll help them. And of course they're going to drink there. Let me just reverse for you, Craig. Hiding behind the log. Sneaky cats. How's that? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Now you can see them quite nicely. You can even hear them drinking water. They're very thirsty. I need to drink as much as they can. It's a very peaceful sound, and I'm sure you can hear all the other birds. Isn't that cool? Sometimes it's very important just to listen to what's going on. And I think this is one of those perfect opportunities. Look at their eyes. You can see all the water reflecting up on them. Very, very thirsty cats. I don't blame them. Maybe they got something small to eat today. I'm not really sure. I didn't spend the whole day with them. But there were a couple of vultures, which are, some of you may know from The Lion King, those birds that hang around with the hyenas. They don't always hang around with hyenas in real life, but in the movies they seem to. There were a few of them sitting up in the trees, so they might have caught themselves a little meal that they gobbled up. But they're still looking very, very thin, so they need to eat quite a bit more. Might also just be able to hear another game drive radio. Just going, there is another vehicle on the sighting with us. Very cool. Awesome stuff. Very nice to see the lions, of course. I hope that you enjoyed seeing them. very lucky. But we don't often see lions out here. They're here around every now and then. But then if there's no food for them, then they don't stay for very long. But luckily there are some buffalo and some wildebeest and things around. So let's hope that they stick around. They found themselves a proper meal. I love that sound. But they are being very careful. They're also listening, because there are lots of other lions around at the moment. And these boys can find themselves into a bit of trouble if they go wandering into the wrong places. They don't want that. But what a very cool afternoon it's been, with lots of leopards, lots of lions, or at least 2 lions. And you also got to finally meet David in the Mara. And maybe next time you guys join us on a school safari, you'll be able to see the Mara during the day, which is really, really beautiful. But anyways, thank you for joining us, and to the rest of the viewers, thank you very much for all of your questions. It's been fantastic as usual. We'll see you all tomorrow on the Sunrise Safari.